Mr. Horsford, the gentleman from Nevada, is recognized.
I want to thank Chairman Issa and the Ranking Member, Mr. Cummings, for holding this extremely important hearing. Director Pierson, let me be frank. I believe that you have done a disservice to the President of the United States. Not only have you compromised his safety and security, you have compromised the safety and security of his family and the staff of the White House. The pattern of lax security and following basic protocols indicate a culture at the Secret Service that needs to change. Now, while the President may not be in a position to publicly criticize this failure to adequately protect his needs, I will. This President has far too much to worry about, both here and around the world. He should not have to also be concerned with his personal safety and security and that of his family. So my question, Director, is why should we have confidence in the Secret Service's ability to protect the President of the United States and the First Family when there has been such a pattern of lax security?
I believe the incident on September 19th is not representative of pattern. As I have stated, there have been others that have attempted to gain access to the property that were immediately arrested. My biggest concern is that security plan, that effective security plan, was not properly executed on the night of the 19th.
Beyond September 19th, which is the most recent incident, the fact that we are just now learning from the Washington Post that ran a story about the 2011 shooting incident where Ortega Hernandez fired at the White House. It took 4 days for the Secret Service to realize that bullets actually hit the White House residence. And that only occurred after a housekeeper and an usher identified the concern because of a broken window. Can a broken window be observed from both the inside of the White House as well as the outside?
In this case, the location of the broken window up against the mansion facade along the Truman balcony, it was not visible from the exterior.
From the exterior, what about the interior?
The interior and the private residence of the President and First Lady, there were indications that the ballistic glass had a dimple or actual damage to the ballistic glass.
So how was that
not recognized by the housekeeping staff until the curtains had been pulled in preparation for the President and the First Lady's return?
And so how was it that the Secret Service personnel, prior to the housekeeper finding that, they did not do the proper assessment, inspection of that location in order to identify that until 4 days later?
I'll be happy to have a discussion with you in a private session, but typically the private residence of the President and First Lady is just that, their private residence.
Well, I understand that you are not able to discuss all of the exact details of some of the security protocols in this open hearing, and I look forward to asking you more detailed, step-by-step questions about the exact protocols that failed, the missteps by individual agents, and the depth and breadth of this review that the investigation of this incident covers. Has there been any disciplinary action pursued against any of the personnel who failed to follow proper protocol to date?
That is pending based upon the conclusion of the investigation to determine exactly what the facts are. And enhancements will be made and personnel actions will be taken.
And that's where I tend to differ a little bit because of this pattern of lax security, not just from the most recent incident, but from prior incidents, someone should be held accountable. The security of the President of the United States is serious, and his family is serious. And we don't need a long, lengthy review for someone to be held accountable. So I look forward to getting more facts about this in our executive briefing. But ultimately, Director, we need to make sure that people are held accountable. There are men and women in the Secret Service that do a great job, and they are to be commended for that job. But when an individual fails to do their job properly, they need to be held accountable.
I agree with that statement. If people make mistakes, they need to be held accountable.
Thank you. For all members.